do have something fancy. I can play some music while I'm trying to figure this out. Okay. I'm changing the title. All right. Hey. Hey, hey, hey. Do you guys like my on hold music? Hi. Hello. I'm like using a new platform here. So just bear with me. I'm old. I'm trying to figure it out, okay? We'll just do this together. How are you guys doing? Like today, I wanted to go live because I had so much to say and I just didn't feel like making it all in a pretty package. So I just decided to make this a pretty package, right? Because I didn't want to just be regular because regular is boring. I'm pink pill. I never do boring regular stuff. But do me a favor right now. Please like the video. Let's activate the algorithm because we are going to talk about today. First, before I do that, we are going to talk politics today. Now, please do not get me confused. I am not a political pundit. I claim no side. I am politically homeless. I do mean that because both parties are diabolical. Diabolical. And I'm going to prove it to you. The reason why I titled the video the way that I did was because both parties want you to own nothing and be happy. I'm going to prove it. I'm going to prove it. We're going to be talking about that 50-year loan that Donald Trump was. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you saying? What one? What? Jeez. You guys can hear me okay? Put a 1 in the chat. Just because like it'll be like you're putting your pinky up if you put like a 1 in 10. Or maybe it should be like a 5 because that is your 5th digit. Okay, so you guys obviously can hear me because you commented both parties are trash. They are. And I know that you guys are probably not watching politics the way I watch it. I'm kind of a junkie. I joined X and I swear to God, it is like the hub. If you want to know anything that's going on in the world, X is the place. I mean, but beware, okay? Beware because you are going to run up against some racist people and you are going to run up against some like really super well-meaning, crazy blue-haired people. It's, you know, it attracts both polarizations. It really does. But I get a lot of content and I usually get it pretty quickly. So yesterday, Donald Trump sat down on Fox News and talked to some lady. I remember her name. I'll remember her name in a second. And the interview was just so crazy. Like the things that he was saying was just so sort of tone deaf. Did I say tone deaf? Well, we could all be dying from all of this, but I meant tone deaf. I meant tone deaf. Such a tone deaf take on what people are going through right now. But before we go through it, I want to just say this, you guys. I am politically homeless, like I said. And if you are sort of like a partisan, like you're really hardline this way or that way, this is probably not going to be the stream for you, because I think both of them are dog shit, like I said. But you guys are you're gonna have to be able to see some nuance in all of this. Like, I know that the way that they've got us going at each other, I mean, I can't even imagine it. You guys, I can't even imagine having to have politics top of mind on everything. Like, I can't even believe that this is the world. I can't believe that we are living in a world where politics just, it like demands your dating choices. Folks are like cutting family members and friends off, breaking up marriages over politics. So it's like really entrenched into our culture. And I think that that is a very, very bad thing. It's a very, very bad thing. So I want you guys just to keep that in mind as we go through this, because just know I am not, you know, I'm not favoring one party or the other. But however, okay, let me just say this. Right now, there are a lot of policies that the left needed to address and they didn't. I'm not going to go through like all of them ahead of time. I'm going to sort of interweave it into the discussion that we're going to have, because it'll start making sense to you. I'm not going to just be like, okay, these are the reasons, these are the reasons. I will just say that, like, I grew up Democrat, but I think that right now there's such a clinch on the Democratic Party by way of the, is it Democratic Socialists of America? They are, they're influencing the party in a way that is a little bit crazy, but I kind of understand why they're becoming so popular. And if you guys are not aware, that Zohran Mamdani is part of the DSA and was just elected mayor of New York. How do you guys feel about that, by the way? I mean, I have, one of my kids lives in New York, and she's excited. She's so excited that Mamdani got elected. I want to know what you guys think. And the reason why I want to know what you guys think, because just like Donald Trump, Mamdani, all these politicians are not being completely honest with us. Like, when they run for office, they promise all kinds of things. All kinds of, you know, what are they talking about? Yeah. Anyway, y'all, we are talking about this. I totally please go away. I don't want to, yeah, over there. Shoo. Holy water, sign of the cross, whatever. We're talking about this right now, okay? I want to just kind of move through it. I haven't been live in a while, so I want to make sure that I hit all of the things that I wanted to talk about. So you're going to own nothing and be happy, and how both parties are doing it to you. So that's going to be my first point. How are they doing it? They're doing it because Donald Trump, for one, came out with an idea for a 50-year mortgage, a 50-year home loan. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? And we can thank his head of housing, or at least he's very high up there in the cabinet of housing, Bill Pulte of Pulte Homes. They do make a nice house, by the way. They do. They do make a nice home, but it is like he runs the place. These are home developers. Now I live in Southern California, and you see Pulte Homes just all over, like where I live. They are not a KB home. Like you could tell the difference. Like for you guys, if you own homes, there's different builders, and I'd say Pulte is pretty up there in terms of quality, but they're developers, right? And Bill Pulte said, hey, Donald Trump, don't you think it would be a good idea if, with all these kids out here struggling, paying, absorbent amounts of rent, working 2 and 3 jobs, putting their groceries on HaPPy, what else? Cars costing half as much as $50,000. You could buy a house. I swear, there was somewhere in the United States that you can buy a house for what you have to buy a car for. And we're going to talk about that too, because although it was kind of a joke, it wasn't, not really. And that was the 15-year car loan idea. So what is going on here? What is going on here? That we're going to have mortgages that outlive. So I am 52. And if I get a 50-year mortgage, if I go out and buy a house right now, my mortgage will not be paid until I am 102. And if by some unfortunate chance I don't live to be 102, because that's really pushing it, okay, my kids are going to have debt on my house, like, and hopefully enough money to pay off the loan. And how much, I don't know. I mean, there's so many variables here. And the takes that I have heard about this, like, oh, these people who are just so, like, anything Donald Trump says, it's like, yes, we're going to try to make this work. We're going to try to make this, like, make sense for us. And it's just not coming out. And like that yesterday, that interview that Trump did, and let me just say this. I don't hate the guy like some of y'all hate the guy. Like some of you guys have had some of those like crop sprayers, those planes that go up, in the sky and they like spray things down. It's like some of you guys have been crop sprayed, and like you can't see that he has done anything right, but he has, and we're gonna get to that as well. But right now, I'm gonna try to figure out how I can share my screen. Now, remember, I asked you to like this video and let people know that I am live. I'm trying to get back into the algorithm, okay? I'm trying to do that. So help me out. All right, let's just hear what this, okay. Hold on, let me share my screen with you. I actually like this setup though. This is kind of nice. All right, so in here, this is my bookmark, and it's called What the Fuck News. It's just all the things that I think are just unbelievably what the fuckable. But anyway, this is Donald Trump on his Fox interview yesterday.
Housing costs are still out of reach, and another thing that your administration is trying to tackle. Many Americans, the average age of first-time home buyers are now up to age 40, which is sad. The country, you and I.
40. The average home. Okay. Do you guys understand that I was born in the 70s, right? So I'm born in the 70s, and like just every show had a couple who were expecting their first child, and they moved into their house, their first house. We had their little apartment first when they got married, right? And then, you know, she tells Greg, I'm having a baby. So they get out of their little apartment and they move into a house, and then he sweeps her up, carries her over the threshold, and they prepare this beautiful baby's room with the little mobile and all this other stuff. They're usually yellow because nobody knew if it was going to be a boy or a girl. But imagine this now. So it's now at 40. And then I saw a report on X as well that the median age is 59. So boomers have some explaining to do. Like, are you serious? If young people cannot afford a home, what you're going to have is a bunch of angry people who are going to want to take what you have. Like, you guys have to understand this. And I'm so outraged on your behalf, but I'm also scared too, because I have 4 kids and they're all Gen Z. And I'm sitting here trying to figure out what's going on with y'all. I've been actually looking into it for a while, because at first, I'm gonna be honest with you, I was listening to boomers and they were like, well, they're just lazy. They're just lazy. That's it. They always want their lattes. They want their lattes, and they don't want to work. They don't want to work. They're bad. And so that's what I was thinking. And then I just started to look at what hiring people were saying. I was looking at what parents were saying. I was looking at what psychologists and sociologists were finding about your generation. And I was just like, damn, okay, I get it. Like, this is not even close to the world that I grew up in. And I could only imagine existing in a world where you live amongst people who are living the life that you just missed by a few years, right? Like, just imagine that. Like, they are still there and they're enjoying all of the things that they were able to benefit from. Like, my mom is still alive. She was born in 1940. She's living in a paid off house, has a pension, doesn't have anything to worry about, Boomers bought, there's this joke, boomers bought their homes for like $25, and now they're worth like $1.5 million. And you guys can't afford to buy a home. And if you can't afford to buy a home, then you're not gonna be rah-rah about finding a nice person, courting, getting married, having kids, and just like have like the life, or at least have the option of the life. Like, you don't need to have it. Nobody's making you, but you should have the option to have it, is what I'm saying, right? So I'm not trying to push you into anything you don't want to do, but you should have the option. And you really kind of don't. You really kind of don't. And it's starting to be really weird. I took down some notes. So you guys are paying high groceries and gas. These are the things we've established already. High housing costs, high healthcare. Like, that's across the board. I'm experiencing all of this. I went grocery shopping yesterday at Sprouts, and 4 bags of food, $200. What? $200. And I'm going to tell you guys this. When you see people who get SNAP benefits and they're filling their cart just to the brim, like, it's just like the cup runneth over with like all of the food that they get to buy all of the junk, everything, and then you sitting here, you know, trying to count like, oh man, damn, do I get that wine? Maybe not. I'm gonna put the wine back. Oh, but my kids like those cupcakes. We can't get those cupcakes. Those cupcakes are $8. They used to be $4. Healthcare costs, you guys, are out of this world. I thought Obamacare was going to solve this. I did. I campaigned for him in 2008. I called Florida. And I was so happy when he got elected. And then come to find out that this whole thing has been like an emperor has no clothes situation. What do I mean by that? Like the whole thing that we were gonna save money on our health insurance, that we were going to, I want you guys to see like my cool shirt. So I put the screen down so you guys could see a little bit better, because I think it's a very cool shirt. I mean, so we're thinking this is cool. I was thinking it was cool. I wasn't even paying attention. And then come to find out that the states have to like, and the Fed have to fill in the gaps and do subsidies to try to like make up for this pretending that this healthcare system worked. The live is blurry. Let me look. Ooh, let's see. Okay. Is it still blurry? Let me know. Looks fine. You guys let me know if it still looks blurry. Just say like yes or no. Like, it's not blurry anymore, continue. Okay, all right. So again, it's like this emperor has no clothes, and everybody's trying to make up the difference. We keep paying so much money. You guys, it's crazy how much people are paying. It's crazy how much I'm paying. Like, we have to admit, like, this is broken. Like, when I go to the store and, you know, somebody's got 2 carts full of food, and, you know, I'm looking at my 4 little bags, and I'm like, and I'm paying for that, but I can't afford like my stuff. You guys, if you get to the point where you're so generous, if you have a system of messages, whether it's through the media or politics, that wants you to be so generous that you start to have a deficit, then it's time for us to have a discussion. It's time for a renegotiation, right? I resent that. I don't know. I mean, do you guys like, and this is not to say that I do not believe that anybody should have it. I think people who need it should be on it. I have a really hard time believing that 42 million people need it like that. Not when I've seen what I've seen in terms of people, you know, getting a bag through SNAP benefits, selling them, flipping them, I don't know, greasing them up, frying them, I don't know. I don't know how they do that, but whatever. But I do realize that people do need it, and it should be there. But it's just kind of like, when your charity starts to impede on you, on your just navigating, I think it's time to have additional discussions. But let's keep going.
Right, but let me get to the question though, because your housing director has proposed something that has enraged your MAGA friends, which is this 50-year mortgage idea. So a significant MAGA backlash, calling it a giveaway to the banks and simply prolonging the time it would take for Americans to own a home outright. Is that really a good idea?
It's not even a big deal. I mean, you know, you go from 40 to 50 years, and what it means is you pay you pay something less from 30 that some people
Wait,
had
wait,
40.
what did he say? Let's run that back. Because what?
That some people had a 40 and then now they have a 50.
There was never a 40-year mortgage, Mr. President. Mr. President Trump. There was never a 40-year mortgage. Do they do that in the hotelier business? Do you have 40-year mortgages over there? Because we don't have them over yonder here. We don't have, y'all have them over yonder. Yonder means over there. Here means here. It's here. And he says it's not a big deal. You guys, it's not a big deal. I'm going to tell you why it's a big deal.
All it means is you pay less per month. You pay it over a longer period of time. It's not like a big factor. It might help a little bit. But the problem was that
it might help a little bit. Let me break this down to you really quick. So say you get you're looking at the numbers for a home, and I'm not good with numbers, but just work with me. It's X amount of money, right? And then you've got a certain mortgage at this price after everything's been calculated, and you find out that you could save, say, like $700 a month if you go with the 50-year mortgage, the half-century mortgage. Let's just call it what it is, the half-century mortgage. The AARP that you're going to end up paying like $1 million in interest. And here's the thing. When you do those 50-year mortgages, I was doing some research about this because I was like, what? Like, this just sounds bad. Like, I'm not good in math. I am very good at patterns. Very good. Like, better than you, probably, than reading patterns. But with numbers, no. But I was just, no, this didn't seem right to me. And so you're paying like, I don't know, 20 years of interest or something. Like, this is your interest part of your mortgage, and this is your principal. The principal is like what you like actually owe that you pay down. So this compared to this for like 20 years before you actually make a dent in this house. And then people have been saying, I mean, they've been saying, well, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? You know, it's just another option. What is the big deal? As soon as that happens, houses are going to skyrocket. I'm going to prove it to you. I think it was FDR after World War II. He came up with a 30-year mortgage. Okay, 30-year mortgage. Why did they do that? They did that so that people could afford to buy the homes that they were building. They were just like mass building. By the way, which is what they're not doing anymore, which is why housing prices are so high in the first place. But they're also high for this reason. As soon as they introduced the 30-year mortgage, what has happened to home prices? They have gone up and up and up. What do you think a house will cost with a 50-year mortgage? How much it will inflate the price? And I don't care how low of an interest rate you get. At some point, even if it's an interest rate of 0, if the house is so expensive, you're not going to be able to afford it anyway. I mean, it's going to be obscene. The house, I live in a suburb. The house I'm in is like $1 million. I don't think it's worth $1 million, but the market says it's worth $1 million. With a 50-year mortgage, I could see this thing going up to like $2 million in the next like 10 years. And it makes everything still, and why would that be horrible? Well, because wages have not caught up. If they are still paying people 1970s wages, and they are, you're never going to catch up. There's not going to, you're never going to close the gap between that. So like, I'll give you an example. Like when boomers were getting married and buying homes, I was born in 1973. So in 1973, the average household income, and keep in mind that household income was probably just like one person, because probably most of the households still had the man as the head of the household. So anyway, the average home income was $17,500. No, that's not right. That's not right. It was $10,700. So in 1973, the average household income was around $10,700. The average home was $30,000. So in like 3 years, I mean, of course, nobody's going to give every cent that they make to like pay their mortgage, but do you see how, and with a 30-year mortgage, how cheap that would be? But do you see how you could eventually close the gap if your household is like close to $11,000 and your home is $30,000? But check it out. Right now, the average household income is $69,000, $70,000, and the average home price, well, in the city I live, the average home price is like $800,000. No, it is not going to happen. No, but Ben Shapiro says that if you cannot afford to live in the town that you grew up in, you don't deserve to live there. These are the lizards that we are dealing with. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I was like, I'm not even looking at the Republican Party. Like, this was like, I don't know. As recent as like 5 years ago, I wasn't even looking. I find them to be so dismissive about what common people need and what common people want. It's this whole pull yourself up by the bootstraps type thing. And meanwhile, we're just going to let corporations do whatever they want. And you just need to figure it out. Like, you bootstrap, but we're going to take care of them. And, you know, for a while, it seemed like they were trying to switch it up a little bit, which is why I got on X, because quite frankly, so disgusted of the Democratic Party. Like, I'm not coming back, and I'm not claiming you, because it's become an insane asylum. Like, the things that y'all are protesting while you are sitting here not being able to afford your groceries, your housing, your health care. They want to like they're floating around 180-month car loans. Like, the things that you guys are getting so enraged about, things that are over there. And the fact that I find you guys are so like whatever, kind of defeated, like just whatever. I don't know what that is. Like, why are you fighting so hard? Like, some of y'all fight so hard, and this right here is happening in front of you, and you hardly even notice. But that is, I think, part of it, though. I think it's part of it that they want you distracted, being interested and outraged and exhausted mentally and spiritually about something you can't do anything about. Now, check it out. They want you to be outraged for things that are going on over there, right? They want your cortisol to be all high up in the sky. They want you to be shouting at your friends and family. They want you out in the street protesting. And it's all for something that you can't really do anything about. But if you just if you just turn the whole protest march that was facing this way and turn it back over here, if you raise noise, you should be mad. You should be mad as hell. You'd be out in the street saying no more. But instead, I don't know. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, have they exhausted the fight out of you guys? I'm not even kidding. Like, have they exhausted the fight out of you? Because if it were me and I saw people walking amongst me, not prehistoric people, not people from the last century, but like people from like last decade, you know, as in the last 10 years, benefit from a system that no longer seems to be working at all. And so let's look at the sides here. And because what I want you to do is, whatever side you're on, I want you to always keep in mind that ultimately you need to vote for what is going to be best for you. And I know that's controversial because everybody wants to be all, you know, virtual signaling and everything, but you ain't Jesus. You are not Jesus, okay? Why do not sacrifice your vote for some cause that does not benefit you? I don't know. I mean, would you? I don't know. Would you? I mean, this is your life. Would you sacrifice your time, energy, your body to a man you didn't like just because a community told you so? Oh, you wouldn't? Wait a minute. So you wouldn't sacrifice yourself in that way because you understand that, well, I'm a sovereign woman and I am going to do what is best for me. You need to vote that way too. They both need to be on notice. And I know you guys are real happy about Mamdani being the mayor of New York City. He wants to tax everybody who makes over $1 million, from what I understand. He wants to have free daycare. He wants to have free health care. He wants to have free bus and subway rides. He wants to let all the prisoners out. He wants to send social workers to 911 calls. And listen, I don't have to live there. Yeah, this video is live. Okay, you guys let me know, because this is new. This is like a new setup here. So let me know if you guys can hear and see me okay. That's why I got out of it, so I could come to the chat and take a look at what you guys are saying. But I need to focus, you guys. Hold on, I need to focus. So Mamdani in New York. So he's promising all these free things, and that sounds really good, but you think that the people who are rich are going to pay for everything. Well, there's like a flood of calls to Florida real estate agents of people trying to flee New York City because, well, the rich people don't want to be taxed to kingdom come. So they're leaving. So that means that like there's going to be less of a cushion. Let's say you're down here. And so everything from here on up is the richer people, okay? So say you're right here. And then the richer people, they start to leave. And then it goes down a little bit, okay? All right. And so then there's less richer people to get your free health care, your free daycare, your free bus rides, your free subway rides, and, you know, free grocery stores. I forgot that. And so what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to lower that threshold of $1 million that they said that these were the only people they're going to tax. It's going to come down here. It's going to come down here. And then more people are going to leave, right? Because these people are already paying super high taxes, and they're not like super, super rich like the guys up here. They can be like, get the hell out of here, right? it's going to start getting tight for them. It's going to be like me going to the store and seeing Snap Mama over there with 2 carts of groceries, and I got my 4 little, my 4 little bags, tiny violin. Like, so eventually something is going to hit, right? But here's another thing that is crazy to me. This makes me crazy. What makes me crazy is that Mondami is not going to be able to give you guys free bus rides and free train rides. At least that's what Kathy Hochul said. Is that her name, Kathy Hochul? The Democratic governor of New York. So he's campaigning on all of these things. She doesn't quite endorse him until, like, I don't know, a month before the election, right? And so he's saying he's going to do free bus fee, okay, all this other stuff. And then he gets elected. Everybody's happy. Yay, woo, right? We're all happy, right? And then Kathy Hochul says, oh, yeah, no, we're not raising taxes. Because Kathy promised that there would be no new taxes in New York. And Mondami can't just make the trains and the buses and the subways free because that's part of the MTA. And the MTA is not, it is not commanded by the mayor. It is not. So what are we doing? When Donald Trump says that he wants to give everybody $2,000 in excess tariff money, and we're all getting excited like, yay, maybe some of us are. I mean, it's the least he could do after basically saying, let us eat cake by offering us these 50-year, half-century mortgages. Like, that's the least he could do, right? But he probably won't be able to do that either. Why? Because he's going to have to get the approval of Congress. And Democrats hate him. And he could be like, I would like to pass a law that, I don't know, that we continue to spell the word the THE forever and ever ad infinitum. So that's the bill. The bill is a proposal to make sure that the word the is always spelled THE, and the Democrats would be like, no. Literally, you can't get anything done. So when these guys say they're going to do this, and this stuff, how? Like, the Congress, the House and the Senate, they are just at loggerheads. They don't want to agree on anything. They don't want to do anything that is going to advance the agenda for the other side. And Republicans do the same thing. That's why nothing ever gets done, right? So while housing prices continue to rise, Mondami seems like a really good choice. I mean, he wants to freeze the rents and give you free. So he wants to freeze your rent, so he's going to take care of your housing. He's going to have free grocery stores. So I don't know how that works. Like, does that mean the food is free? Like, what is free? Like, what is that? What do you mean free? You get your free daycare and free transportation, right? Okay. He doesn't want you to own anything either. Because in socialism and communism, property is everybody's. The DSA wants to seize private property, and that is the truth. They want to seize private property and forget inheritance for those of you who are fortunate to have a house and kids that maybe you want to pass that along to. No, the DSA, if they have their way, they don't want you to be able to pass along your inheritance to your children. And they want to seize property. They don't want you to own anything, and you will own nothing, and, say it with me, you will be happy. And on the Republican side, we have 50-year mortgages, yet no acknowledgement that the housing prices are out of reach. It would benefit the banks, which is enraging, as if companies aren't making enough money, as if companies are not. Listen, this is crazy. I want you guys to, like, you guys in the chat, I want you guys to think about this. Do any of you guys have any, do you guys have any activity in the stock market? Do you guys have anything invested there? We're sitting up here talking about how much everything costs, right? How there's hardly, and people are complaining about not having jobs. People are complaining about gas prices, having to use Afterpay for groceries and all this stuff. People don't have money. I can tell y'all are miserable out here. I can tell. There was a thread where I saw a bunch of begging women. I couldn't believe it. I was so embarrassed. Begging men for like $20 or money to pay a gas bill or a light bill. I was just like, it's getting hard out here. It's getting hard out here. And so the stock market is doing great. I just looked at my numbers and I was like, how is this so? It's such this double-minded thing, which is, I want to talk to you guys about this a little bit later. It is becoming increasingly clear to me that we are dealing with a class dichotomy. We are just in this have and have not situation where it is just right in our face. Like, they're not even trying to cover it up. They're not even trying to pretend that they're not doing what they're doing. So and then you've got this layered thing of AI. And then you've got all of us sitting here kind of powerless. And the narrative used to be, and it kind of it was mostly true, that if you like worked hard and you applied yourself, didn't take a class in college for flower picking, and even if you did, you can make your life around a good life for yourself. Like from I don't know, the 90s, late 80s, 90s, up until the crash, mid 2000s. But then you probably would have had an opportunity again when it rebound, and then probably your last chance was COVID, right? So now all of these things, no matter how hard you work, it's still not attainable. And it's because there are things that are going on outside of your control that nobody's talking about. And I'm hoping, like I said, I'm not a political pundit. I didn't ask for this. I really didn't. But I cannot sit up here and watch y'all like drool over another dumb TikTok video without you guys realizing what is happening right in front of you. BlackRock, which is a corporation that I'm talking about, is buying up whole swaths of your neighborhood right now. Whole swaths of them. And what they want to do is rent them to you. And our government is letting it happen. The government is just letting it happen. Bill Pulte is a tool. I mean, you literally have the fox tending the hen house. I mean, when you tell a developer, oh yes, let's float this 50-year mortgage. Now, why would Pulte want that? He's a home builder, right? Well, he's not a bank. Well, but is he? Isn't he though? Because they have their own financial system. They have their own. They have their own mortgage arm. They have their own bank. So guess who it would benefit directly? Like, this is what I'm saying. They're not even trying to hide it from you. They're not even trying to keep that on the low. They're not. So that's what I'm saying. It's right there in your face. Zohar Mamdani says, yes, I want to take all of the money. I want to take all of rich people's money. Okay. And you guys think, oh, well, it's going to be fine. This is going to be fine. You know, we've got Scandinavia has done such a good job, right? Wrong, because there's this other little wild card here, and that's AI. We haven't talked about that yet. AI is replacing y'all's jobs. Like, you guys can't even submit a resume without the AI filters like already eliminating you. All right, like people are complaining about ghost jobs. People are complaining that they're getting laid off left and right. Like, this AI thing is happening. Let me just be clear, okay? Let me just be clear, because I feel like I have to start talking to you guys. Like, not like I'm your mom. No, please, no. I'm not your mom, okay? No. But I will be your auntie, at least for the time that we are having these conversations. I will be your auntie, and I'm here to just kind of smack you awake so that you can see what is going on, because the same noise that y'all make for protesting things that are comfortable, the things that you guys protest, they don't hurt the corporations really, right? They may even benefit from it, right? They'll take on your cause as long as you don't look too close at what they're doing to you. So now with AI, and hand in hand with the government, Trump's big, beautiful bill, there is a stipulation in there. This is the bill that's already passed and been passed again. 10 years of no government interference for AI. Do you see how quickly AI just transforms, how it iterates, how it keeps updating? Like, last month, it couldn't add. Now it's doing complex equations. Next month, it's going to be doing quantum physics. Like, this is happening so fast. And I know, like you, like I feel it. I cannot explain it. But I know that there are a lot of you that feel like there's something really weird happening. Like, not even just weird, like what we see in this like material world, like what we see what's going on with politics and the world around us, and even how we interact with each other. Does it feel weird to you? Or am I just weird? Like, am I just insane? Like, it could be true that I am insane. I doubt it. But I'm talking about a really weird energy. Like, something is off. The days are somehow shorter. Everything kind of just tumbles into the next day. It feels like time is getting shorter. And somebody would say, well, that's because you're old. I was like, what does that have to do with anything? They said, well, time goes by slower if, you know, when you're older because you get more routine. Whatever, speak for yourself. I want to know if you guys feel like there is something beyond the physical going on here. Not to be all like woo-woo, but it's a little bit like woo-woo, because I have never felt like this. I have never felt the energy of, like, the collective energy of so many people, so many other souls who feel the way I feel. Like, I can feel it right here. I don't know how to explain it, you guys. I can't, but it's like, I know what all you guys are just walking around in despair. Like, nobody's really happy. You're trying to remember the last time you were really happy. Like, there's this pall. There's just this pall over everything. Just kind of like a hate, like a window that, you know, it's got smears all over it. You can't like really see out. You can see it, you can see out, but it's this blurry. Oh, today is 11/11. What does that mean? I mean, I know double numbers mean something, but enlighten me. Yeah, you guys let me know. Like, I really want to know. Anyway, it just feels weird. But like, what's going on with politics is just confirming the weirdness for me. So with AI, you guys might be saying, well, Mandami will be great. Mandami will be great. Well, okay, because they'll stop the rents and everything. But what about they start taking over more and more jobs with AI? They're not replacing them fast enough. And then you can't even pay the little rent that you do have to pay. And then what, I'm just like the type of person who follows the logical path. Nobody's making money. What are they going to do? They're going to have to do something. We'll have universal basic income. Okay, so you have universal basic income. That's not going to cover everybody's bills. I mean, it's not like they can, I don't know if they're going to do a sliding scale. That would be also another thing that would make people rage in the streets, where it would be like rivers of blood in the street. You got more universal income than I did. So that means that they would have to regulate everything. And guess what? It's, again, you will own nothing and you will be happy. So they're going to we're going to be all in these little Soviet bloc apartments. We're all, do you guys, we're going to be in Stalin's Russia. Living off our universal basic income. Being forced to work on some farm somewhere. Does that sound better? I don't know. I mean, I kind of like being able to have the freedom to, figure out how to make money. I don't want somebody telling me what I'm gonna do. The things that I have been learning about socialism and communism is just unbelievable. I cannot believe that like every 10 years or so, the world needs to revisit this conversation. Like, how many more millions and millions of people will have to die before we just collectively, once and for all, realize that it just really is not a good idea? Like, it's, like how many more times? How many more times? But on the other hand, I get it, because on the Republican side, they don't seem to be listening at all to what is going on with young people, particularly Gen Z. Going back to, if I can see so many people around me having had the benefit of what America was like only 5 minutes ago, and now there's none for me, no soup for you, there's none left for you, then socialism starts looking really good. I would be angry. You should be angry. You should be like out in the streets mad, like protest this. I know we don't want to get our fingernails broken, but ladies, you do not want, you don't want to sit this one out. If you're not going to be in the streets, you need to be on the phone. This benefits you. This benefits how high you can go. This benefits like who is going to be part of the haves and the have-nots. They are making it so obvious right now that they don't care that you know. Like, and both parties is trying to empty your pockets. Both parties want you to not own anything. They want you to just be this mindless consumer. I mean, I don't know. Let me share. There was something else I wanted to share with you guys. Because it's Veterans Day. And I'm glad I'm not the only one. I really am not. I'm glad I'm not the only one that thought this was sad. Hold on. Here it is. It's Veterans Day, and this is a World War II vet. I'm gonna play this. It's so sad. And shout out to my father, who served proudly in World War II. He was born in 1922. Sorry, baby, I can't talk right now. Born in 1922, and he fought in World War II in the Army. So shout out to my dad, and thank you all for your service. All the military, thank you for your service today. But this is going to break your heart. I'm going to just let this play.
I don't know. I've lived a good life. I mean, I've had a lot of happiness, smiling, telling everybody that everything was beautiful every day. If I went into my church and didn't say everything was beautiful, they'd think I was sick. And I'm not that way. I mean, I sincerely believe in this old world that everything is beautiful. I mean, if I wake up in the morning and see these plants out here and all those flowers that are in there and the green grass on the ground,
and I
that's
say
beautiful.
to myself,
And people don't realize what they have.
what a wonderful
They bitch about it.
world.
And then nowadays, I am so upset that the things we did and the things we fought for and the boys that died for it, it's all gone down the drain. Our country's gone to hell in a handbasket. We haven't got the country we had when I was raised. Not at all. Nobody will have the fun I had. Nobody will have the opportunity I had. It's just not.
That's so sad. You know what? I feel the same way because I had opportunities that you guys don't have. It's just become farther and farther out of reach. You guys don't have the fun that we had, where we just played in the street till the street lights came on. When we played together and didn't worry about, you know, if so-and-so was Republican or Democrat. We didn't care about race like that. If you were Gen X, we would just make fun of you. And they would still be friends, and we would go on. We had the best movies. The fashion was questionable, but it was just a much freer life. I wish, I mourn for you guys that you'll never experience that unless AI comes up with some virtual world, which may happen. And if they do, I'm going to go there and I'm going to stay there and I'm never coming back. Okay, let's hear what he has to say.
Not the same. That's not what our boys, that's not what they died for. It's just not it. No, I'm so sorry.
That made me mad. That made me mad. Oh, this right here. This.
But because of Biden's inflation, which averaged 5% over 4 years, that people on average lost about $3,400 in purchasing power, and they've gained about $1,200 this year. But
do you guys feel like you gained $1,200 in purchasing power this year? Show of hands. Show of hands, I want to see. Did my picture go out? There we go. My picture on here. Oh, the camera's off. See? I'm learning. Show of hands. Oh, was it hard to hear? I'll send you. I'll try to remember to send you guys the link. So if you guys didn't hear it at all, let me know because I'll play it again if there was a lot of you that didn't hear it. If not, we move forward because I have some other clips I want to show you. Speak now. Nope. Okay. All right. Well, is that a no that you didn't hear it or a no we're going to move on? What no is it? And you guys make sure that you like and share this, okay? Like today we are roasting both parties, okay? Because both parties are dog shit right now. All right, well, when his voice got choked up, it was hard to understand. All right, well, he's basically sad. He was sad. What he said was, this is not what we fought for. He fought in World War II. He said he was so happy. He lived such a nice life. He saw so many beautiful things. And he looks around and he sees that we don't live in that world anymore. You know, it is very, very sad. You know, just grasping for things. I mean, just trying to make it work, trying to make the bill, trying to get all this stuff paid. And you know, I see the struggle. I have 4 children. I am in a blessed situation, but that doesn't mean that I don't have a lot of concern and a lot of anger, because quite frankly, this is not the world that I want to live in with you, right? Like, I don't like the unhappiness that we see, the worry all the time, the division. And speaking of the division, you guys, they've got you guys so preoccupied just micro dividing. You know, it used to be a time it was like black and white. Now they've become so creative in dividing. It's now men, women, gay, straight, trans, tall, short, fat, skinny, differently abled. Are there others? I mean, like, I'm trying to remember all that I mean, of course, rich, poor. That's the classic one. Oh, religion. You know, Muslim versus Christian. Do you see all of these micro divisions? And do you ever just sit and wonder to yourself, why are they doing this? And why am I spending so much time involved in these divisive conversations? Well, it's because you won't be paying attention when they're robbing you blind. When the stuff that you really should be caring about, the stuff that you really should be mad and raging in the streets, and I mean raging in the streets. You guys are, I don't know, you guys are on some other stuff. You guys are on some other stuff. And I had this, look at this. I had this all queued up. How cool is that? So they're ruling through division. They're causing you to be angry at the other. Like, particularly what bothers me is like in the area of relationships. Like, I'm not gonna get involved. I'm not gonna get into it too deep because whatever. Some of you guys are just insane when I talk about this. But the way in which the algorithm, politics, I don't know, whoever is the guy up here with the strings connected that's doing this, and we're all moving around like marionettes. They really are happy all of this is going on, all of this chaos, because you won't be paying attention when they take everything from you. And the fact that you already feel powerless, this is Soma. Your Soma is, you might be chronically online, looking at something that isn't this, scrolling endlessly on video games. Some of you guys do corn. Some of you guys are medicated. Some of you guys are overly into causes that don't directly benefit you, and you're pouring all your energy into that. Maybe your Soma is hooking up with people, but it's clear that the things that you guys are using to cope so that you're not angry and raging in the streets on your own behalf is working. So that the things that you are doing to medicate yourself so you don't have to see what you're seeing is going to be the undoing of you. The fact that we have a political system where the Democrats and the two sides just refuse to cooperate and work with each other, and how it is trickling down to personal relationships. where, if a person is a Republican or a Democrat, you guys aren't friends. It's usually the other way around. It's usually the Democrats who are like, I don't want to be your friend anymore. I'm going to just be honest. Republicans don't really do that. Like, or conservatives, liberals, like, this another reason why I got so annoyed. You guys were so annoying. I just was like, what is this? And here's the thing. They don't want you cooperating. They don't want you talking to each other, because if you guys talk to each other, then you guys might compare notes. And when you compare notes, you might realize that you have a lot more in common, and that you guys are both getting virtually anally penetrated by the same whoever is in charge, but you'll realize you want the same things. They don't want you talking to each other, because if you talk to each other, then you'll be like, you know what, maybe I do want a house. Like, maybe I do want safer neighborhoods, and I want to be able to say that without being called a name. I don't really want to be involved in other people's wars. That's none of my business. I want to have more money in my pocket. I want AI highly scrutinized. I want human jobs protected. I want them yesterday. Now, when you're hating each other, you guys can't compare notes. This is how the devil works, you guys. I mean, this is how things work in secrecy. It's like you try to compartmentalize. Like the CIA, FBI, they're like, oh, you don't need to know that. You don't need to know that. They don't need to know that, right? So, like, they don't want you guys to be talking about information, sharing information on the things that you guys actually have in common that could work as mutual allyship, that could actually make a difference. They want you hating each other, because then they get to still keep doing what they're doing, because you're like a dummy, always going to vote their side. As long as they can keep you mad at the other, as long as you guys can't compare notes and see that you guys want basically the same thing, you want affordable prices for your groceries. You don't want to have to use Afterpay. You want gas to not be, $11 a gallon. You want to buy a house that's, that it's not going to take you till 75 years old to buy, and then your grandchildren are going to inherit the mortgage. Like, a 15-year car loan will sound absurd. By the way, that's speculative. I found out that was true and not so true. So apparently it was satire. However, I looked into it, and literally there are 180-month loans, but those are like for RVs and luxury vehicles, whatever. But in any case, if you've got if you've got an administration who's floating a 50-year mortgage, it's not going to be far from my personal belief that they would float a 15-year car loan. I don't know. I mean, the things that they say are so absurd. But also at the same time, the Democrats have let too many migrants in. Too many. And it is impeding on you. Everything is now. Remember I told you about charity earlier? I said that when your charity starts to become oppressive, then it's time to sit down and renegotiate. Like, you cannot allow for your care of other people to supersede the care for yourself. Unless you're masochist. Is that what you want? Yes. You like to receive pain. You think you deserve it. You think you should step back and let somebody else have it. What's wrong with you? Seriously. No. Have I not taught you anything, grasshopper? This compassion has gotten out of control, because quite honestly, housing would probably free up if we didn't have so many people coming from outside of the United States. It would free up a lot. And the Democrats want something different. The Democrats want a much more porous border. So if we were to continue, and this is why I agree with Trump, we continue. We have got to let them go. Our charity is impeding. You've got governments within governments being formed. You've got people who are claiming territory as like a different country, as like a satellite for a different. No. And I'm going to say this as an American who can trace her family back to 1792. This is no. America is for Americans, and that is how I feel, and that is how you feel. I'm not saying no immigration, but to the point where it's causing you so much burden. When it's causing you to suffer, it is no longer something that should be viable. You are punishing yourself. And if people are trying to pressure you to continue to do something that is not beneficial to you, that's actually hurting you, that's abusive. It is. It is. And then on the other side, you've got Republicans who just seem to only care about keeping richer people rich. And these people know what they're doing. I want to be very clear. Like, they know that AI, coupled with already the issues politically that are going on in the world, sort of the upset, the upheavals, unrest. The rich guys know that something bad could happen. That's why Mark Zuckerberg has a 3,000-foot bunker somewhere in Washington. Now, why on earth would he need that? How come they all do? How come they all have bunkers? Wow, that's so weird. Why on earth would the richest people in our country have bunkers? Because I think they know that there's going to be a point where they can push people too far. And I think like that's starting to happen. Like, a lot of people who, I didn't vote, I just told you, I didn't vote for Trump, but a lot of people who did vote for Trump, is particularly Gen Z men, young boys and men, they voted for him because they wanted to have some sort of opportunity. They've been feeling so marginalized. They felt like they weren't being listened to. And they really did feel like that Trump was their last like stopgap effort. And I gotta say that the way in which the country was going, there needed to be a stop to some things. Like, there was just things that were just hemorrhaging, and that was like the immigration issue, just hemorrhaging. I mean, cities were getting ready to go bankrupt trying to accommodate this. I mean, after it was like enough is enough at some point. But then I started to question things when Doge came in, and I don't know, just seemed like the way in which they were trying to slim down the government was just like with a hatchet, when it should have probably been done with a scalpel. And then when Doge was just kind of abruptly, I don't know, they say Doge is still around, but there's nothing in the bill that legitimizes Doge. Which means to me, like, why wouldn't they want that? Why wouldn't they want to if both parties are saying that they want to get rid of waste, spending, corruption, whatever, why don't you want people to see the books? What are you hiding? And it's not just the Democrats, it's the Republicans too. Like, they don't really want us looking in the books like that, because there's a lot of money that they are using very creatively. And the more money, the bigger the government gets, the tighter it is on us, because we pay for it. And I'm tired of paying into something that I feel like I get very little benefit. If I don't get a benefit from all of this, and I do, because I live in a nice area. My tax dollars are used well, because like politics are local. So, but I'm questioning it. Again, look at how everybody's struggling. But do you have stocks right now? Do you have stocks right now? Because if you have stocks right now, you're probably very happy. So how is it possible? It's because really rich people are just about to get really richer, and middle class people, us, they don't care. A lot of us are about to be poor. Oh, wait, hold on, you guys. I wanna put the light on. So just hold on a second. Okay. That's super yellow. I look like a pumpkin right now. What do you guys say? If you have a 401k, keep daily eyes on it. Many, lots of emotion. Okay, hold on a sec, you guys. Let me fix this. Better, but I feel like I feel like a pumpkin, whatever. I feel like a Oompa Loompa. I feel like I look like a Oompa Loompa right now because the light is so yellow. I know how to fix it, but it's gonna take me a second to figure it out. Like, you know, it's like only 2 knobs on it. I don't know which knob it is, and it would take me a second, but I don't want to just like leave you guys here while I'm talking. So anyway, as I was saying, so like the whole dividing and conquering thing, it's got everybody so distracted. And when you are fighting each other, like particular with this whole gender war thing, like it was cute in the early days, but now it's become crazy. And I want you to understand that there's also something behind it. There is some mechanism moving this forward that wants you to be in this situation. It is benefiting people who are a lot richer than us for you to be in the situation. And this, like, you know, this perpetual men are trash, women are whores. Because look, it's very simple. If you can convince men and women that all of a sudden, after centuries of being physically compatible, that all of a sudden, not centuries, I mean, we're talking that like millennia over millennia, 60,000 years, somehow we're just all of a sudden incompatible. Like all of a sudden, we just should not be together. Why would anybody like want that to be? Why would somebody or something want to fuel that? Well, if you don't see the point of dating, you don't see the point of getting married, you don't see the point of having kids, because fuck them kids, right? You're not gonna be really upset that you can't afford a house, will you? You're not going to be upset that you're going to be a renter for the rest of your life and that you're not going to have an inheritance for your children because you're not married and you have no children, and fuck them kids. So they're able to do these things like BlackRock buying up entire neighborhoods so they could rent to you forever. And you won't even notice because you're too busy, you know, doing exactly what they want you to do. Here, I'm gonna, and if you don't believe me, what if I told you that in the last 5 years, when it comes to relationship articles directed towards women and dating, the ratio, there's an imbalance in the ratio of articles that tend to discourage women from being in relationships versus giving the benefits or some helpful advice. So, you know, if you've got, say, for every like 5 articles on helpful relationship advice, there's like 10 articles about how women think men are so horrible and how maybe not dating and not getting married and not having children is a good idea. So just imagine that. And think about the algorithm where it's amplifying things that get the attention. And so you've got people, even content creators, that are getting a lot of attention for saying stuff. And a lot of these people are not practicing what they preach. They're telling you to leave men alone. They're telling you to leave men alone because they want them all to themselves. They're telling you to leave men alone so it'll be more for them. Did you guys ever think about that? Because it's a mate selection practice that is old as dirt. Sociologists have been talking about it forever, and it's time you knew that women will do that. It's called mate suppression. You're going to learn a new word today. Auntie's going to teach you a new word. Mate suppression is when you have members of a particular gender group, in this case we're talking about women, who want to ensure that they have the best chances to get the mate that they desire. And they will engage in a host of different practices to try to make those things come about. And that would include discouraging her sister from wanting the very men, because that means there's more for her. And if you don't believe me, just look it up. It's true. Like, it's undeniable. It's undeniable. Like, all of the bullying that women do with each other, like for girls, like, I think I want a boyfriend still, or I still like boys, and you're so it's like how you guys go after that poor little ballerina lady who's got her kid. She seems happy, but like some of you guys are just like, you can't stand it. You hate it. That is mate suppression. Like they've literally, I don't know. It's like I don't know. I feel like there's something else going on too. I think there's like some social contagion going on as well. Like, I think it's just like when I saw the article that said, is having a boyfriend embarrassing now? And if you look at the person who wrote the article, she is a Black woman and she is very much staunchly feminist. But I heard from another channel that woman who had been followed by the person reporting was like, I want a relationship. She was mourning, a year or so ago was like wanting a relationship. And now all of a sudden, having a boyfriend is embarrassing now. Is having a boyfriend embarrassing now because you couldn't get one? So it's like, sis, until I get mine, we are going to be in this together. Because I am going to make sure that I still have one of your claws. Because I am the other crab in this barrel and you are staying right where you are. So as long as I have to be down here, you don't get to go up there. Mate suppression technique. So still keep getting played, right? Like, I don't know. It's, these people want you guys not to get together. I think they want men and women to not get together because I think that there's some major changes that certain, powers in high places, people in high places, want to bring about a shift. And to bring about shift, you have to divide everybody. You have to have everybody at each other's throats. You don't want people exchanging notes. You don't want people crossing across party lines, racial lines, religion lines. You don't want people doing that because you don't want people to get ideas, right? I want to show you guys one more thing. Ben Shapiro. He's a Daily Wire guy.
Affordability is not like Beetlejuice, where if you just say it over and over, it suddenly arrives. You actually have to pursue policies that are likely to alleviate an affordability problem. But if your solution is always give me more power, and it does seem like that is the solution of the day from both sides, actually, then you're likely to just continue penduluming one side to the other. Because people don't want to learn the actual lesson, which is if you actually want affordability, then either you have to change policies or change locations. Those are really the only two things. And also, I think more broadly, it's not about affordability. We have trained an entire generation of people to believe that if their lives are not what they want them to be, it's the fault of systems, as opposed to decisions that are in their own control.
Okay. This is where no. I used to think that. Now, this is not to say that I don't think you guys are a little bit socially awkward. Like the Gen Z stare is really creepy. Like some of you guys look like I'm talking to you in a different language. Like you guys really need to work on your people skills a little bit. We could talk about that if you want to. Like, some of you guys are a little creepy. Some of you guys are a little, but I don't think that this is you guys just not working hard enough. I don't believe that anymore. And I think that that's an easy excuse for people who mainly are boomers. I mean, our cabinet, look at the executive branch it's got to be at least 60, 65%, 70% boomers. That's what a boomer would say. Oh, you've been raised to be like so entitled. Like, I don't see listen, what I want for you guys is not for you to have free stuff, right? I know it sounds really good, but I want you guys to have a fighting chance. I want you to be able to choose a career that you're good at, whether it's a trade or whether it's a white collar job. I want you to be able to get those things and get a decent wage so that you have the option, if you want to pursue the American dream. It breaks my heart when I hear kids, and one of them is my son, who says he just does not, it's not even an option. It's just like, I can't think about ever owning a house. You know how heartbreaking that is for a parent, especially when I was his age. I mean, I didn't, but when I was his age, I totally could have bought a house. Working at close time as an assistant manager, I certainly could. I want you guys to live in a world where it at least is an option for you. I don't want you guys to be in perpetual debt. Like these people want you to be debt slaves. Like this is just 50-year mortgages, 15-year loans, school loans are out of control. What else they want y'all to pay for? Healthcare out of control, food out of control. Like it's just not. It's not a. It's more of an obstacle course than a worn path for you guys. And I think that it is just so dismissive for our politicians and our political pundits to just shoo you off or dismiss what you're saying, because like I'm, I don't want y'all going over to Nick Fuentes. And I also don't want y'all going over to the crazies on the left, Hassan Piker. Like, God, like, please. We need to figure this out, but it's going to require for you to be more demanding about this, right? Not just be like, give me free stuff, but it's to give us the chance. Give us the chance that you gave previous generations. Like, have wages catch up with the cost of living. They have not. Wages are well below what it would take to buy a home. That's what you should be looking at. That's what you should be looking at. You should be fighting against AI, like literally taking it. Y'all are just rolling. Is it because AI has the girlfriends and y'all get to talk and be friends? Like, this thing is not your friend. Like, they're sitting up here wooing you. They are wooing you to sleep, using the AI that will eventually conquer you and keep you unemployed. You've got to wake up. You've got to stop directing your energy, because none of y'all like go to church anymore. So there's maybe some hole where you feel like your life needs a purpose, and you let your purpose for your life be you. Be the reclaiming this is your birthright. This is something that you inherited. You should have inherited. And it's not fair that other generations have squandered it. And if I were you, I would demand it. I wouldn't sit up here and take it laying down. But trust me, you do not want this kind of Marxist situation. It is not what you think it is. It's not. And it hasn't worked out ever. Ever. I don't know. It's like the world is so hard-headed. It's going to take so many times. We're just going to, every 10 years, we're going to dust off Marxism.
And politicians absolutely have a stake in selling that. A lot of people in our industry have a stake in selling that. It makes people feel good about themselves and bad about the world. And the reality is, if you want a better life, you should feel better about the world and worse about yourself until you actually, go do the right things.
What? See, that is more political babble. Like, you should be angry with yourself. No, you shouldn't be angry with yourself when you're dealing with things that are outside of your control. Be angry with yourself if you're lazy. Be angry with yourself if you've been sitting around smoking weed all day and watching porn and wearing dirty underwear. Like, be ashamed of those things. Be ashamed of, putting anything on the charge card. Be ashamed of that. But don't be ashamed of things that are outside of your control, and don't allow for people to make you feel bad about that, because I literally can see it. I'm not a political expert, but I have eyes, I have ears, and I have a working brain. And the stuff that they're telling you guys just is not adding up. It's not making sense.
Broadly, generally speaking, as a matter of principle, agree with you. But I mean, I was looking around at property prices, real estate prices in New York. I'm doing pretty well for myself. I feel kind of poor looking at those things.
Oh, no, it's unaffordable. And I'm not saying it's not affordable.
Right.
It absolutely is unaffordable. And if you wanted to make a political difference, what you would do is you would relieve the building regulations. You would make it easier for people to build, not harder. You wouldn't rent control, because if you stop rent controlling, then that creates incentive for people to build. You would allow people to build up further. You would get rid of many of the code regulations that are kind of antiquated. Like, there are things you actually could do. And then if you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here. I mean, that is a real thing. Yeah, I know that we've now grown up in a society that says that you deserve to live where you grew up. But the reality is that the history of America is almost literally the opposite of that. The history of America is you go to a place where there is opportunity. And if the opportunities are limited here and they're not changing, then you really should try to think about other places where you have better opportunities. Again, that's not saying that public policy can't change. I think it can, but I think that the solutions being offered are untenable.
But I sort of.
Okay, so I mean, basically, it's saying that if you can't afford to live where you grew up, then you don't deserve to live there. And I can't believe this coming from, a party that supposedly family values, the strong family bonds. Again, making people economic migrants is not the answer. That's another way to break the bonds of your clan. You got to pick up and move away from your friends and family. Guess what? You're alone and you have no support. Like, these people really want people isolated, alone, and not really having a support system. And that is scary. That should be very scary for you as well. It really should. So I think that's all that I wanted to say in terms of like what you should do. I've told you again that you do need to start getting upset and find out what is going on under your nose, but you also need to prepare, because I'm getting to the point, you guys, where I think that I don't even know if there's anything that you can do about it, because it's like both parties are doing things that seem to be leading us both into the same direction, like a uniparty. Like, they're not really that different. But here's what I would say to you, that me and my partner, we are preparing. Okay, so we're preparing for like a lot of different things. The first thing is that if they're just going to march along and they're not going to do anything about housing, and they're not going to do anything about AI taking over, you are not going to have any chance of owning anything. And your money is going to continue to be worthless, because as they keep printing money, your actual dollars in the bank that are just sitting there are going to be worth less and less. And I know this because I saw it myself. Like, I had money sitting somewhere that wasn't in the market, and it just sat there and lost value as inflation went up. And I had another account that was in a T. Rowe Price account, and I'm watching it grow, like I made almost 10 grand. So here's what I would say. You guys, if you can't own a home, you need to figure out how to own a piece of whatever it is they got going. That means that you got to get into the market as well. That means that you need to be putting a lot of money in that area. That's where the growth is going to happen. And if I were you, I would be investigating what are the up and coming companies, like the very companies that are going to take something away from you should be the companies that you should be investing in. Like, the companies that are set to replace you. Hi, baby. Steven's in the chat. The companies that are set to replace you should be the companies you should be looking at to invest, so you can own something. Another thing is have a backup plan, an emergency plan. If the rich folks are building bunkers, where do you go in case of an emergency? Who do you contact? We've got a cabin in the woods, like, for real. It's got a well on the property. It's got solar electric, and we've got Starlink. So we could hold out there. We get food. We could hold out there for a while. It's not unpleasant to be there. It's quite nice, actually. If I were you, I would start to be paying attention to what I can do as my backup plan. Okay. I wanted to do this. I wanted to talk to you guys this day. If you guys have been following me for a while, I have a private group, and it's called the Pink Pill Underground. We get into more detail than this. We get into specific detail. We do have some like criteria. There's an application and there's an NDA. And I'll put the link in the chat if you are interested in applying. And if you apply, get accepted, and sign the NDA, and you've come from this broadcast, I'll give you a free month. Okay, so I believe I put it in there twice. So if any of you guys are interested in the underground, it is a private group. As I mentioned, things are just getting weird. Things are getting stranger and stranger. People need community. AI is starting to take over YouTube. The connection in terms of your social media, even on Facebook, Instagram, it used to be that you would run into your friends. You would run into, as you're scrolling by. Now, less and less, you're seeing less and less of them, of the people you follow. A lot of people are feeling isolated. And if you're looking for community and you're looking for real strategy, there's the link there. Also, finally, there's one other thing I wanted to tell you, is that Steve and I are also doing this project on our channel called Boomers and Xers, because we really want to deliver this message to you guys. Hold on a second. Let me just make sure. I'm not sharing my screen. All right, I'm not. So we have a new channel called Boomers and Xers. And we're going to be talking about these issues, but we are going to have a cool theme to it. So there was a while ago, back in the day, 1920s, there was this book called Brave New World. And it is basically like telling the future. And a lot of what we see that's going on in the world is in that book. We're going to go through as a series with you all, because when we were watching this movie and we were listening to the audiobook, we were just like, oh my God, so many things that are happening right now were in this book, and that's terrifying. But you guys, that's our channel. But anyway, Steven's up in the cabin now, working on getting the bunker ready, getting our bunker ready, make sure everything is working. I've been like, oh my God, do we have enough food? We need to use one of the sheds. I want that thing full of food. Just in case y'all lose your minds. Anyways, guys, this is all I got for you. Thanks for coming on the live. And I'll do these as I'm inspired to. Probably not all the time, but make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell, and that way you won't miss whenever I show up. All right, guys. Bye. And remember what I told you. This is Auntie speaking. Remember what I told you. Y'all need to get mad for the right stuff.